If you've never heard of Alpina before, don't worry. Many people haven't. They are a tuning company that upgrade BMW vehicles to make them not only faster, but also a little bit more comfortable and luxurious. So what have they done to the X7 M50i to create the XB7? Well, let's go for a drive and find out.
Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have it douse, not what I'm about, have your fucking cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another.
So what Alpina did to make the XB7 was to take the 4.4 liter bi-turbo V8 out of the X7 M50i and then upgrade the turbochargers, the cooling system, and the exhaust system as well. There are a few other little minor trinkets here and there that they also upgraded. But the end result is a V8 engine that now produces 612 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque. That is quite a significant bump in power compared to the X7 M50i. Alpina claims a 0 to 100 km/h time of 4 seconds. And you know what? Every time that you even just touch the throttle pedal, this thing gets going. You really get that feeling of getting pushed into the back of your seat every time you accelerate or even when you overtake another vehicle on the highway. But this car is fooling my eyes just a little bit. And what I mean by that is it's fooling my sense of speed. You see, I'm sitting really high up, so I'm not getting the same sensation of speed as I would in, say, a BMW M4, for example. But every time I look down at the speedometer or even up at the head-up display, I'm pretty much doing twice the legal speed limit before I even know it. But overall, this engine has loads of torque and loads of power pretty much throughout the RPM range. Like I said, all you have to do is just barely touch the throttle pedal and it's already going at a really high rate of speed. As for the fuel economy, it's not going to be good. I mean, 4.4 liter bi-turbo V8 hauling about almost 2.7 tons of SUV. Definitely not going to be good. In the city, the Alpina XB7 is rated for 15.7 liters per 100 kilometers, while on a highway, it gets a more respectable 11.5 liters per 100 kilometers. However, I only managed to get around 18 liters per 100 kilometers. I mean, just listen to it. It's hard to hypermile a car like this with that sound coming out the back. Oh, and of course, it only takes premium fuel. As for the driving dynamics of this big SUV, they're actually pretty good. It's not the sharpest out of all of these super SUVs, but that's not the whole Alpina philosophy. Yes, they do give you more performance over standard BMW models, but they're not quite as sharp as the M models. But you know what? I'm okay with that, because for everyday driving, I don't need the suspension to feel like as though I'm in a race car for the road. I want it to be a little bit more comfortable. I want the steering to be just a little bit slower. I don't need it to be so sharp that I'm oversteering every time I go at an intersection. However, as soon as you put it into Sport Plus mode, then the air suspension firms up, there's a little bit less body roll, and it is quite a lot of fun to drive. Like I said, not quite the most sportiest of these super SUVs, but still, it'll get your heart pumping. One thing to note, if you do drive the XB7 with a bit more enthusiasm, is that the steering wheel mounted transmission shifters are not paddles, but instead are little tiny buttons that are sometimes hard to find and push on. The 8-speed ZF automatic responds very quickly, but the button shifters are unintuitive to use. The Alpina XB7 is one of the more comfortable super SUVs on sale today. The air suspension irons out bumps and cracks on the road with ease. You will feel the bumps, however, as the tires drive over them, so you're not completely disconnected from the road, but it's not overly done to the point where the ride is too floaty. It has a perfect blend of comfort and good road manners. Inside the Alpina XB7, of course, there are some differences between the standard X7, however, they're not really major differences. So you still get the same 12.3-inch touchscreen, the same climate controls right underneath it, the same iDrive controls and crystal shifter, and the exact same steering wheel. But the differences being is that it feels much more luxurious in here. So there's leather all across the dashboard and on the door panels and even on the lower portions of the door panels. The wood looks fantastic, and I'm so glad that this vehicle is not spec'd in gloss black plastic, because this wood is just so much nicer. And of course, the leather on the seats is really soft. My only complaint about the seats though is that while they are massaging, the massaging feature is not that great. It feels like someone's just gently pushing you like in a crowded bus or something. It doesn't feel like a genuine massage feature. But at least the seats themselves are very comfortable. There's also quite a few badges in here that remind you that you're in an Alpina vehicle. So there's a plaque right here on the cover for the chilled and heated cup holders. There's an Alpina badge right on top of the iDrive controller. There's of course an Alpina badge right on the steering wheel, and there's even an Alpina badge in the floor mats. And there's even more little details if you look even closer. So for example, there's green stitching on the lower portion of the steering wheel and blue stitching on the top. And also the gauges have a blue backing to them with green highlights. There's just one little tiny detail that I think that maybe they omitted on purpose, maybe they overlooked, I'm not sure, but in the trunk on the cover it still says X7, and same thing on the cup holders for the second row. It still says X7 instead of XB7. Just a little minor detail that I think probably would have added to the whole experience, I guess you can say, of the XB7. But as for interior space, 6'4" of me has absolutely no complaints up here in the front. Legroom, not a problem. Headroom, I got miles of it. Oh, and speaking of miles of headroom and whatnot, the sunroof has little LED ambient lighting in it. And at night, it's a nice detail that I really, really like. It would be nice if other cars have this too. But anyway, let's go check out the back seats. In the second row of the XB7, you actually get a bench seat as standard. These captain's chairs are optional. They are fully powered, however, they don't have quite as many adjustments as the front seats. And unfortunately, unlike the Mercedes GLS, these are not massaging, or at least you can't have an option at all. In the Mercedes, it is an option. But in terms of actual space, it's pretty good. It is a little bit less than in the Mercedes, but still, 6'4" of me behind my own driving position, no problems whatsoever. Getting into the third row is easy thanks to the simple pull of a tab on the second row seats. However, you'll be waiting outside the car for a few seconds until the second row seat slowly moves itself forward. But once you're back there, it is a little bit on the tight side, as one would expect. For short journeys though, I'd be okay to sit there for maybe 30 minutes or so. The third row has its own little sunroof, so it doesn't feel very claustrophobic. However, it cannot open. But it does have its own separate sunshade, and it can be optioned with its own separate climate control. This would give the XB7 a 5-zone climate control system. Behind the seats, the Alpina XB7 has 362 liters of cargo area. Push a couple of buttons and the third row seats effortlessly fold down to allow for 1,376 liters of space. Because this demo vehicle had the captain's chairs for the second row, they do not fold. All you can do is move them to their most forward position. But on XB7s that have the bench seats, the cargo capacity increases to a maximum of 2,559 liters. Also, I really like the split open tailgate. It makes for easier loading and you can use it as a place to sit. The The 2022 BMW Alpina XB7 starts at a mouth-watering $170,900 Canadian, but it can get more expensive. This demo vehicle is equipped to the tune of almost $190,000 Canadian. For such an expensive SUV, the XB7 is equipped with the usual luxury features that one would expect. It has, of course, heated, ventilated, and massaging front seats, surround view cameras, split open power tailgate, adjustable air suspension, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, leather upholstery on nearly every surface, genuine wood and aluminum trim, and a comprehensive suite of advanced driver and safety aids, to name just a few. As for exterior looks, it's basically an X7 with a lip spoiler and different wheels on it. This particular demo vehicle had the optional 21-inch 5-spoke wheels. The standard wheels are actually 23-inch 20-spoke wheels. But I did review this vehicle in winter, and winter tires on 21-inch wheels are less expensive than those on 23-inch wheels. So while BMW themselves just refused to make an X7M, you can consider the Alpina XB7 as an X7M, but with rounded corners. It has just as much power as an X7M probably would have had, but it doesn't have the ride of an M car. You see, Alpina does a fabulous job of combining not only performance, but with comfort. So you can take this to a track if you really want to, but it's also going to be comfortable for daily use. And that's why I like this car so much. And if you want to know more about this Alpina XB7, I wrote a more detailed review of it over on my website. You can find that link in the video description or click on the pop-up banner up there. And as always, I will see you in the next car or truck, or most likely it'll probably be another SUV. Anyway, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.
Just tell me that I can and show you things that you couldn't believe.